Do you know that this is a YouTube production?
In the last season of the critically acclaimed web series Cobra Kai, we saw the return of Karate Kid 3's ponytail man Terry Silver.
You know you liked it.
And the end of series cliffhanger where Miguel would go to Mexico to discover his roots. This season, we found out that the Miguel storyline went absolutely nowhere.
I'm never doing something like that again.
But so what? We saw the return of the late, not mid-80s spiky head secret weapon.
I'm afraid I'm gonna need 50%. I'm gonna need 50%.
Karate's bad boy, Mike Barnes. A storyline that also went nowhere. But again, so what? We saw the return of the most ridiculously unnecessary character in cinematic history, Jessica, the friendzone master Andrews.
I gotta tell you this. After you hear this, you just might change your mind.
What do you have?
My boyfriend.
It was one thing to damage control, bring back Ali with an eye, after she'd broken Daniel LaRusso's heart off screen, damaged the legacy of the quintessential 80s high school romance, and contributed to the insidious emasculation of the man. Now, the writers have brought back Little Miss Madden, the one who cemented and finalized the emasculation of LaRusso.
I just didn't want to lead you on or anything.
No.
By way of making her sassy Amanda LaRusso's cousin, Daniel's son's smart witty wife,
A couple of grown men about to kick each other into a pool.
who is just about believable as the paisan with the comb-over's spouse. LaRusso's one saving grace, vis-a-vis his relationship with the opposite sex, has now been contaminated by association with Jessica Andrews,
My boyfriend.
a character from the worst Karate Kid movie whose legacy is she didn't want to have sex with Daniel LaRusso.
Meet your first friend.
What genius actually wrote that into the script? And thus, it turns out Amanda LaRusso isn't just some chick from the valley, she's Amanda Steiner from Columbus, Ohio. Sound familiar?
Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, Columbus, Ohio, where the friendzone master came from and had to return to
Yeah, I'm gonna go back after Thanksgiving.
because she'd decided to reconcile with her ex.
I don't know, we're gonna give it another try when I go home.
Again, what genius wrote that into the script?
Meet your first friend.
Karate Kid 3 only ever existed because the Hollywood studio machine wanted to milk the proverbial cow for all the franchise recognition it possibly could. So they make a forced movie at the dawn of the 90s, supposedly set a year after the events of the first movie, yet everybody looks like Bros as opposed to Luke Skywalker.
Know it.
LaRusso needs a new love interest, Kamiko's out, Mills is shagging TC and CT, so they get what seems to be someone in production's niece, a f***ing 16-year-old, to play the love interest of someone who's now pushing 30. In an era where they're literally casting 30-year-olds to play 17-year-olds. You cast a 16-year-old to play an 18-year-old. What the f***? Boomer Macchio apparently doesn't feel comfortable doing a love narrative with a 16-year-old. In other words, his wife doesn't want it.
My boyfriend.
So the Hollywood studio machine takes this weird decision to make it a platonic relationship. Again, what the f***? The end result, however, is textbook friend zoning.
That doesn't mean I'm not your friend anymore.
Not organic platonic, no. He meets her, she love bombs him,
I'll see you soon then.
How soon?
Busy tonight?
No.
No.
then all of a sudden has this big epiphany to reconcile with her ex back in Ohio,
I don't know, we're gonna give it another try when I go home. I mean, I did come on kind of strong.
No.
aka she has zero romantic attraction for LaRusso, who at this point has turned into a right spurg.
Don't give me a hard time about it, alright? Okay, you got it?
He even remembers the name of the chick the friendzone girl's boyfriend was cheating with back in Ohio.
I mean, Elizabeth and Rooney,
Elizabeth Ann Rooney, Logan Theodore Montgomery III. Who gives a f***? Bruv, this was an era before Friends, with Ross getting friendzoned by Rachel.
You're in the friend zone.
Meet your first friend.
That doesn't mean I'm not your friend anymore.
This was supposed to be the 80s still. Back then as a kid, you'd watch Willow or Indiana Jones and see Val Kilmer and Harrison Ford kiss the shit out of some chick.
How dare you kiss me?
Friendzoning at that point didn't even make sense.
What do you have?
My boyfriend.
That'll be $2.50. Oh, wait, for both. It's refreshing. I mean, we could go Dutch.
Then she pisses off back to Ohio to have Wham Bam Baloo Bum sex with Deacon.
Send me a Christmas card, okay?
You got a deal.
How was that a deal? LaRusso keeps spurging out and whining.
Yo, I'm afraid! I'm afraid of him, alright?
By the way, he could never go back east to Newark with his gumbars like this.
But I got problems, okay? And
Stop whining like a f***ing and get your piece.
He defeats the spiky weapon by way of dancing because it's the dawn of the rave era. only his quote-unquote friend is nowhere to be seen. And that should have been that. Bring on the 90s, no more 80s, and no more Spurgy weapon.
I got problems, okay?
You must think of me as someone that gives a shit.
In terms of Madame Friendzone in Cobra Kai, there is no way sassy Amanda is going to take her older cousins not even sloppy seconds, just the guy her cousin wanted nothing to do with romantically.
What do you have?
Boyfriend!
Then you bring back the spiky weapon, and not a single scene with Madame Friendzone.
Slime ball.
Slime ball. You can dream about me.
As we all know, when a woman says slime ball, it means she secretly dreams about karate's bad boy. Because we all know Jessica Andrews is a bad girl masquerading as a nice girl. Because we all know bad girls use and abuse nice guys while secretly dreaming not about bad boys, but bad boys. And aside from that, I have about as much to say on the spiky weapon's return as the show had to offer him in terms of storyline. Nothing. At least give us one scene with him in terms of the 50% plot line.
I'm afraid I'm gonna need 50%.
50%. You got your 50%.
How can the ponytail man, Terry Silver, who's now meant to be this slimy psychopath supervillain, let some kid from Oregon or wherever just hustle him for 50%? Tell me it was a ploy to get him on board, and then when the film ended, he screwed the shit out of the spiky weapon. In terms of season 5, yeah, it may actually be that moment. What the hell has this got to do with the first season?
My family and I just moved into 109.
Great, more immigrants.
Russo Auto bringing you We have an excess of...
There are only winners and losers.
At this point, Amanda and all the other parents would have called the police and banned their kids from going to the bad guy breeding dojo. LaRusso going to the club as an Italian-American man in his 60s with a toupee-looking comb-over is way more Tony Lip in Goodfellas and Donnie Brasco than a middle-aged Gen X father of high school kids. And that's about it. Season 6, you gotta fix this thing, and dare I say wrap it up gracefully. No more valley full of Kylo Ren dojos, no more homicidal beatdowns. Wrong genre, guys. Cobra Kai is now becoming Karate Kid 3, the web series, and Karate Kid 3 was an accident of history.
A boyfriend.
If you made it this far, you just might be a Cobra Kai fan. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.